5, 4, 3, 2, 1.
Recording.
Ladies and gentlemen, welcome to another episode of the Sober Swole podcast. My name is Jake Howard.
Oh, Rick is sleeping, and I go by DJ Swirl.
Chocolate and vanilla swirl.
And Rick probably is sleeping. Before we get started, give a shout out to Royalty Nutrition. That's royaltynutrition.com. That is a veteran owned and operated supplement company that doesn't automatically use the cheapest ingredients possible while making their supplements for you. Check them out and use the discount code 37HAKE to save you 15% on your entire order. Your next shout out of the evening will be to Gorilla Gains. That's gorilla-gains.com. They are an apparel company that you can wear comfortably in and out of the gym. They also make great equipment that helps keep you safe while you train. Check them out and use that discount code JAKE15 to save you 15% on that order as well. Patreon.com/HakeJoward. Check that out. That's where I put life updates, a solo show called Hake Rants, blog posts, training programs, all the things that you need to get to know me. Instead of if hiring me as a coach is too expensive, well, there is a cheaper option. There it is. We have an ongoing legal battle against a fella who is the father of my 3 stepchildren, who is can't stay sober to drive his children to and from places, and he has hired a total demon of a lawyer that is making our life miserable. So we'll put the link to the GoFundMe that we to help us pay for our legal fees, because we are still in the fight. We'll get more into that here as the show goes, but if you could donate and share, we'd greatly appreciate that. DJ Swirl, tell them about that buy-to-buy empire.
They say teamwork makes the dream work, but what about the nightmare? From your landlord to your dashboard, sometimes life don't play fair. If you lack time, got a bad spine, we're here to support you, giving peace of mind from the time you buy until we say goodbye. 602-345-0472 buy. 602-345-0472 buy.
That's right, Buy, your source for fast, friendly, on-demand moving, delivery, staging, TV mounting, and assembly. We help you from the time you buy until the time we say goodbye. I would like to take a moment to give a shout out to Peter. Peter is in my business networking group based out of Ahwatukee, the East Valley Entrepreneurs. And Peter, he fell off the wagon, and unbeknownst to most of us, he quietly checked himself into rehab, got himself right, showed back up with a new super stash, and is just saying, don't pass me any business. I'm here. I'm happy to be here. Let's reconnect. So shout out, Peter. Looking forward to having an extended conversation with you soon. Open invitation to come on to the show and tell us your story if you would like to. If not, just as good. But either way, happy to hear that you're doing well. Great to see you. And let's get going with the show. Jake, what are we talking about tonight?
Well, let's get the lighter-hearted subject, I guess, out of the way.
Let's start there.
So it has come across my timeline a couple times, and I've seen a show covered it. There was a show on the Learning Channel called My Husband's Not Gay. And it followed these married people, husband and wife, around, and they were Mormons in Utah, and the men were openly attracted to other men, but were married to women, had children with the women, but were navigating their urges through counseling with their church and their wives, and they made a show about it. And while I found it funny, there's no other way to put it. I found it funny. I think it's bad that people are forced to live a life that is a lie for the sake of maintaining uh
Proper optics. Yeah.
yeah, proper optics for their church and their, parents, like, more than likely, yeah, man, I sent you the trailer.
Hmm.
What did you think of that mess?
Well, whenever I get sent stuff, it's usually my mood depends on my reaction, right? Where I'm at, where my headspace is when I see it. And so um the world, like you said, we're starting with lighthearted stuff. The world's real heavy right now. And so
Yeah.
this didn't pop up in my timeline, so I never saw it. Um and it's 10 years old. So it's from
Yep.
2015, and you said that there was only one season of it, so it's short-lived. So the idea that it goes viral 10 years later, I don't know why that would happen unless, it just feels like bigots would put the weight behind that. You know what I mean? Like they just wanted to shame them, or like I understand the comedic aspect of it, but it's 10 years old.
Yeah.
Like what other
What's
clips do you see that people bring out of the darkness in order to bring light to a circumstance?
I so I get and see where you're coming from, but I think it was more of do you see this outlandish shit they put on TV once upon a time?
Once upon, okay, so it's like a throwback or nostalgia thing, but it's like,
Yeah, because because people like doing deep dives on this is what the housewives used to look like and stuff like that, and
sure.
so I think it was one of those things where as they were poking around, someone saw this show that was airing, some other show they were looking at, and what the hell is this? And this turned
Hmm.
into a oh my god.
Yeah, I mean,
That's what I see. That's how I see what kind of happened.
and then I think my response was something to the effect of, "This is in Utah, correct?" Which,
Yes.
as you said, it is. And so I sent you, the screenshot of the age of consent in Utah is like 14 years old or something
14. Yeah.
ridiculous. So the homosexual nature of it is second nature to me, or it comes second or third to me behind that. And so
Right.
growing up Catholic, I've had my own um, quarrels with trying to understand how do I follow a religion that allows what happens in the Catholic Church. And so um, this doesn't feel like that. It feels like men who live in a certain state that are pressured into, like you said, following suit. And so that's not specific to Utah or Mormonism. Like that's just closeted gay men who don't have the ability to come out and be their whole selves. Um,
Yep.
and then it also makes me think about the women, because you look at the faces of the women and they look just as uncomfortable.
They looked miserable.
And like I
Like
said, it's the name of the
yeah.
show is My Husband's Not Gay. So it's framed from the position of the women. So
Yeah.
the idea that people are putting it online and it's going viral for the gay factor, again, it's not something that jumps out to me, because uh, I've seen other things that are way more provocative. And so, you know, I DJ'd a Mormon wedding once, and I went into it expecting it to be dry, not as fun, what have you, right?
Yeah.
Couldn't have been farther from the truth. It was a blast. It was a lot of fun. And there were certain intangibles that I had to do in order to make sure that happened. And working with the bride and the groom to customize their playlist was part of that. And so, um, yeah, man, just seeing this to me is just kind of like, aside from just being another distraction, it's kind of like, why make that focus? It's like if it's in the same boat to me as like people who will say something uh, that sounds feminine and they'll go pause, or they'll say no homo or whatever. Like you know what I mean? Like
Yeah.
that same kind of, this feels like that same kind of energy, like the Venn diagram of the people who comment or added to the virality, and then the Venn diagram. This is the middle. This is where they meet. So it's like it feels like the same thing. Um, but knowing people who have been in relationships that they didn't want to be in or that they naturally didn't want to be in, um, it's an insecurity thing, right? It is
Yeah.
you're falling in line, and so yes, there is a comedic element to it, but like I tell my daughter, I try to look at it from three phases: one, your gut reaction; two, you're sympathetic; and three, you're empathetic. So the gut reaction is yeah, giggle, chuckle. The sympathetic is damn, I feel for both the guys and the girls because I would hate to be a gay man married to a woman I didn't want, and then I have to
Yeah.
fornicate with her, and then you have children with her. Like you're bringing kids into that circumstance. Like God, like it's just the rabbit hole gets deep, and so yeah, it's to me, it's I don't know. I didn't get much value out of it, but it tickled your funny bone.
Well, I think I was just more of looking for something to laugh at, and that was provided. Um,
What was the funniest part of it? The
oh,
interaction
that's
between him and the waiter?
oh my god, yeah. I was like, oh yeah, and then and just the wife being like,
That's
what did you
terrible,
like?
dog.
What did you like about him? And I was like, it was. I guess it touched more of my like not traditional comedy
Okay.
funny bone that I have, and that's I got a tickle out of it. I mean,
Yeah.
because everything about it was so wrong that I had to laugh at it. I guess what it is. 'Cause everything about that was wrong. Everything about it.
I'm just thinking of the camera crew. Like, imagine being a cameraman and you're just witnessing this nonsense. It's just like, and you got to sit there with the heavy ass camera
And just be like, yeah.
and just record it all. Like,
Yeah.
no, thank you, man. No, thank you. Oh,
Those poor families. Like I won't even say guys. It's the families. The poor families. Like I
I
said, I
so aside from the hook, did you dive any deeper into the series?
no, because I don't want to.
Come on, man.
You want me to watch it and give a recap?
I mean, you took the bait. You might as well follow through and just see what it
Oh,
became because it only lasted for a season for a reason.
well, let me contact my producer, see if he can pull up if I can find where that's streaming.
I mean, it's got to be somewhere, or
It's got to be.
it's being suppressed. Imagine that. So you may not be able to find it, but I feel like it's worth a watch. I mean, I want to watch it just to see because to me, it feels like if you're going to set these people up for that, you should at least have a therapist involved. You should have
Mhm.
a support system involved to help them iron out the details of that because they're living, that's their life.
Yeah,
They are flies in the wall, just absorbing what they do normally. And you know how people act out when they get on camera. So it just kind of feels like it's going to be exceptional for the sake of it being exceptional, and like
yeah,
I could care less. But if the series or the show was, the hook what we saw and then they sit down with a therapist and they talk about blah blah blah, but without knowing any more about it, something tells me that's not part of the equation.
you know what I'll do? I have a whole. I started a whole nother playlist on our show.
Okay.
I'll do an episode blow by blow. If we can find out where we can do it,
Oof.
I'll do an episode blow by blow.
I don't think you want to use that word, bro.
No,
What
that's
it-
what I'm gonna call it. That's what I'm gonna call it. My husband's not gay. Blow by blow.
Oh, jeez.
Fucking bullshit!
All right, so where do you want to go from here? So that was the light.
Well, where do you want to go?
I mean, okay, so I mean, this is not light, but air travel.
Yes.
So lately, with all of the cuts and federal positions being frozen and let go and all these things, fuck taking a flight right
Wait,
now.
oh no, yeah. What's and the one that you sent me today was
I forgot about that.
it was Australia to Dubai, right?
That is a long flight.
Yes. And this poor couple, a lady was coming back from the bathroom and collapsed and died. And so instead of finding a place to land the plane, they just strapped her in the seat next to him and said,
They
"Enjoy the
made
rest of your
they
flight."
made a couple scoot over and sit. I mean, it's a full flight. You can't help it, right? But shouldn't they
Right.
shouldn't they put her in underneath
Put her,
with the luggage?
put her,
Like that's where you put a
put her in
coffin,
the
right?
overhead.
You don't put a
I know,
coffin in the
I know,
fucking aisle.
I know there's room in that overhead compartment. I know there's
Yo.
Yeah.
You imagine hitting some turbulence and she drops down.
Grandma.
But yeah, I
Oh,
mean,
oh,
I respect the dead and all, but if I'm in
yeah,
that
of
situation,
course.
bro, open that door.
Yep.
Because what?
Well, so and then I think
Oh,
also what was so different, like I guess concerning about it was the woman who died was obviously traveling by herself, right? So you don't know
yeah.
if she was going home. You don't know if it was. You don't know.
Hmm.
So
But what did she die of?
either
Did she have like a virus that she could fucking spread to people? Like
well, it sounded like she had, in my expert medical
your
opinion,
medical, but yeah.
it sounded like she had a coronary event,
Okay. So heart attack or
and yeah, or just a
embolism, is that the right
multi-
word?
embolism,
Embolism.
maybe like a blood clot shook
Right.
loose.
Yeah.
Um,
An
like she may have
anomaly.
had yeah, something freaky, or she had surgery and flew too soon.
Well, that's
I mean,
probably,
there's
especially
either way,
she's flying to Dubai, so she's got some cake. So she's got some
whatever,
ego.
man.
Yeah.
Once my hair falls out, I'm thinking turkey's the way to go. Have you seen those ads?
Yeah, bro. But like, so in terms of your sobriety, what do you do
Yes,
if you're on that flight?
I'm different than most people.
Okay.
Dead people don't bug me.
Okay. Yeah,
I'd have been
she's
like,
not gonna do anything to you. Sure.
I'd have been like, okay,
If I'm
because
on that flight, I'm like, you better supply a round of shots or something, because like,
yeah,
and I don't even drink like that anymore. But it's just like, ugh, man, alive.
but ask Brittany. The first thing I do if I get on a plane, I go right to sleep.
Yeah. Oh, so you would see the episode and then you would put your eye mask back on.
I'm like, oh, that's wild, you know. Back to my nap, you know.
That's
I've
hilarious.
I've I'm sure I didn't do it when I was 2 when my mom and I flew to France. But in all my whole adult life,
You went to France when you were 2?
yeah.
That's a footnote.
Yeah. And I went to France and like Luxembourg and
What
like
was that trip for? Anything specific?
uh so my grandpa and grandma and my aunt Chrissy were in France because grandpa was helping to open churches and mentor new pastors to help them preach.
Mm,
So they lived there for a while.
gotcha.
And so mom, it was right before she got pregnant with Jordan, we went. So there's pictures of me all over France and
Yeah.
Switzerland. And
Would you ever go back?
I
Because you don't have much of a
sure.
recollection of it, right? You were
No, I
2,
mean I
right?
wouldn't mind. I wouldn't mind going back. I just I don't have the urge to travel
Yeah,
like
no flights, man. No flights right now.
well it's I just don't I don't have that like there's so much going on and we have put so much on ourselves and then I have like the birds and then like the
Right,
I don't
right.
care.
Yeah,
You know,
traveling.
like if
Yeah.
if I were to like somehow accidentally win an adventure, sure.
Oh, you
But
mean
I
like
don't
you mean like the trip to New York that you can't do?
well, yeah. Oh, I don't think we've talked about this.
You forgot about that too. Yeah.
Oh no, I haven't forgot about it. I'm just
Yeah.
waiting on them to call me, actually.
Right.
But yeah, it's just I don't care.
Yeah.
There are places I'd like to go, but I have to live in reality, especially at this moment in time.
Yeah.
That I none of that even crosses my
Yeah. I
mind.
understand.
So, no, do you want to talk about the trip?
I mean, it sounds like it's a sore subject, and I would be kind of salty about it
Well,
myself. So I don't want to
it's. I mean,
pick at a
I
scab.
might as well bring it up.
All right, let's do
So
it.
when most of the birds were at the farm in Florence, I would stop at the Speedway, which is a 7-Eleven uh, in Florence, and then I'd go to the farm. I'd buy the kids some juices. I'd pick me up some caffeine and a protein bar and some
Keep it
snacks for the
moving.
kids, and we'd hit the road.
Yep.
Right. I did this every other day for like 2 years, and apparently through the app, I was entering into a sweepstakes whenever I bought a certain brand of energy drink, and I won. I won a uh, round trip airfare for two to New York, two VIP passes for 3 days at the Fanatic Sports Fest, and hotel for 3 day, 2 nights, and like $500 a piece walk around spending money. We can't go. Hooray!
Fucking bullshit!
And so you can't make it, and they're non-transferable.
Yep.
So you can't even gift it to anybody. That's crazy.
Nope.
So what? They'll just go
And
next person on the list. How does that work?
yeah, pretty much. It's
Damn.
because I called them and I was like, "Hey, there's a lot of stuff going on. I don't think this is. Sorry, thank you, but no, thank you."
Yeah.
And the lady was like, "Well, just wait. We'll call you in the spring." Okay, you
Okay.
know.
Yeah.
And springtime's coming, so I'm just waiting on my phone calls.
Okay. Gotcha. I mean, it's a dope surprise, but it's also
Yeah,
sucks.
I ain't never won anything in my whole life.
I don't win shit, dog. I've always lived by the mantra, I'm talented, so I'm unlucky. I feel like the
Oh, is
lucky
that what
people.
this is?
I feel I feel like I feel like but like you said, you never win, and so you win something
Yeah,
you won something you weren't trying to, dog. So yeah,
yeah,
this is not the same thing. But no, I'm just talking about
no.
like a lot of in my experience, the things that I've been unlucky at, which is the lottery or drawings or raffles or whatever. I'm incredibly unlucky. I never win those things, but I succeed based off of my skill set and my talent. So, like, I feel like to me that's the balance. I would rather be talented than lucky. So
Yeah.
I'm fine losing at you know that expense or whatever. But like I would rather be self sufficient than to rely on luck.
No, I don't blame you. I hear you. I don't know. It's just
Another
because Brittany doesn't talk. Brittany, for good reason, doesn't talk with her parents.
okay.
My parents live far away, so it's just not feasible.
Yeah,
It's
how do
just
you
not a
watch all the
feasible
kids?
situation.
How do you operate? Yeah,
So,
that's wild.
nah.
Yeah. So speaking on federal layoffs and or the jeopardizing federal agencies, I sent you a link to a storyline that was talking about the Veterans Crisis Line, which you
Mhm.
have personal experience with, and you are a veteran.
I
So
do. I
um,
do.
I sent this to you, and you were just like, "Yeah, I got to look into this." Which again, talking about life being crazy, weren't able to do, but since then we have kind of looked into it, and it's not so much a thing that's happening yet, but it's on the chopping
On the
block.
horizon.
It's on the
Yeah.
chopping block for sure. It's on the assembly line. It's like going down on the show. You see that thing, like someone strapped to assembly line. It's got like something that's gonna tear them up or whatever. Like that's what this is. And the Veterans Crisis Line, we were talking briefly about this before we got on, and I was like, how long has that been around? And you thought it had been around for quite some time, I think, right?
Well, you're asking how long it's been around. I thought you were talking about the
No, no. Oh,
VA.
okay, got you.
Yeah,
No, specifically the actual crisis line. But
yeah.
just doing a little Google search, you'll see that it's only been around since 2007.
Yep.
And I don't know the stats on suicide and veterans, but I assume it's alarming.
Was the last I had seen was is like 22 a day.
So yeah, this is an
And
agency that was just started less than 20 years ago with a crew of 14 people, and it has grown over the years to an online, and now it includes an online chat tech service and with a total of 1100 responders.
mhm.
So, I mean, 22 a day with this service in tow. Streamlined, working effectively.
Yep.
Now, and as we were talking about, you know, so people are going to lose their jobs, and then the people who maintain their jobs may leave as well for the sake of camaraderie, for the sake of, you know, having standards or morals or whatever. But like,
Yep.
this has got to be a slippery slope, bro. Like,
Yeah. So we've talked about it before. So, I'm actually like something else other than libertarian now. All I've ever wanted is to be left alone, right?
right.
And but contracts honored. So part of the deal with your military service, if you rate VA disability from your time in service, all services of the VA are supposed to be open to you, and and then also uh, disability related services should be open to you.
Yeah.
So the crisis line, I called them one time when I was like bad, in just really, really bad headspace. And it was because the VA was jerking me around about, because I was trying to talk to a psychiatrist. I was trying to talk to a psychologist. I was, this isn't right. I need to get my shit together. Someone please help me.
Mm-hmm.
And the VA was like, well, we'll see you in 4 months. This is before they found all those people dying on waiting lists in Arizona, by the way. So this was actually out in Texas.
Got you.
And so I called the hotline and I said, hey, it ain't good. I don't want to be here anymore. The VA is jerking me around. I need help. I'm not getting help. How can I get help? And I wish I could remember the gentleman's name who I talked to, because he was incredibly good at his job. He talked me down. We got an appointment set up that next week, because that was a problem with the VA. It wasn't that they didn't have staff; they had very lazy staff. And then he checked up on me for 3 months. Every once in a while I just get a phone call like, "Hey, just checking on you. How's your therapy going? How's everything been?
Nice.
Just making sure you're good, brother." That was amazing.
Yeah.
And
If you didn't
hearing,
get that, how likely would you have been to make it through that?
well, see, I I can't answer that question, because even after that, I still tried to kill myself, and that's what ended to me trying to fight the sheriff's deputies in Victoria County. So so um, that's a rough question.
Understandable. And I would assume that you wouldn't revisit that thought for that sake. So
No,
makes
I mean,
complete
but
makes complete sense.
this is important.
Hmm.
I don't like diving deep into my uh, bells and whistles for shits and giggles, as they say.
Well, you were supposed to, right? Today?
Yeah. Oh my goodness. Yeah, I was. I was supposed to today.
Hashtag segue.
So, excellent segue. I was. So I've been seeing this therapist at this place because once again, so it was initiated that if the VA can't see you on time, you can go see a provider that takes VA insurance.
So
So I've
in
been seeing the
market, like,
same.
is that in market, like with a doctor? Same thing?
Yeah,
Okay.
but it's you don't have to go to the VA or a VA clinic. You can go to
An actual.
like when I got my ears redone during COVID, I went to the audiology place that was like down the road, and that was dope.
Nice.
So the lady was like, "You're deaf," and I was like, "Thanks." And
Thanks. Uh,
and but so I've been seeing the same therapist for a while, and we were supposed to start. It's like rapid light therapy while you talk about your traumas that you've like talked about beforehand.
yep.
We went through a list of shit, and I made it to senior year, and we hadn't even got to like the Marine Corps and after.
Right. Yeah. Wow.
And, and man, I was thinking about it. I had thought about some other crap because it opened up the can of worms, and my brain's just been spinning.
Yeah.
But yeah, we were supposed to start that today, but then my therapist was like, "Hey, we're not doing that anymore. I'm leaving. I have another job, and I can't tell you where it is.
But it's in town?
I have no clue."
You don't know. Okay. Wild. And so she didn't, did she, or did they give you a, like, suggestion, reference, referral, any of that?
No, they told me to, you know, start searching. There are qualified therapists still at this place that know how to deal with veterans. And then they said, yeah, and if you don't like anybody, you'll be able to Google me. You know my name.
Damn.
I said,
Could
okay.
they tell you when you would be able to find them?
No, I'll
No.
ask that next time I go. But,
At least to get an ETA so you're not checking it every day for nothing. You know what I mean?
mhm.
Because you want to get help. You don't need to rely on one person.
Word of mouth. Ludicrous.
I mean,
Anyway,
I'm sure that I've never seen a therapist, but I hear that they're not all created equal. So it's like if you've got a
it's
great
just
rapport
like
with one, it's tough finding another one.
it's just like dating.
You gotta you gotta
You know
reset,
what I mean?
start over.
Yeah.
Yeah,
And it's like I don't want to tell this story again, but I guess I got to.
yeah,
And so that's how that's what it is. It's just like dating.
yeah.
And with this therapist, we hit it right. We clicked right away. I like the way they talk to me. They like the way I talk to them. Fucking vibe
And
right
how
out of the gate.
and how did you get their information? How did that happen?
It was one of the places that was within their network, and they had openings.
So you just
So
shot in the dark.
I said, "Fuck it, let's roll." And then,
That's awesome that you found someone right out the bat, though. Like that you didn't have to see multiple people before you could find someone who you felt comfortable or, secure with to go into that.
I'm pretty comfortable with most people right away, anyway. So unless you give me like, unless there's something off about you, I'm like, hmm. But then,
I don't know, man. I'm a pretty open book myself, but like if I get vibes that this is a run of the mill, that I'm being treated like a statistic or a loan,
mhm,
just a digit and not an actual person, then I'm gone.
right? Oh yeah, but no, I never felt like that this whole time. It's
Yeah,
been enlightening.
yeah. That's wild, man.
Man, am I remembering crap that I haven't remembered? I don't like it,
Yeah.
but I need to do it.
Well, let me get on, use my network, and see if I can find at least a lead for you to and out your way that you can try and start again with.
Okay,
Because
I'll take it.
BNI's network is over 2,000 deep in terms of individual business owners, and I know mental health and wellness is uh, adjacent to all of the other service providers that we do work with who do physical therapy, chiropractors, naturopaths, all that stuff. So um, it's all part of the same ecosystem. So hopefully they'll be able to point you in a direction. So I'll get on the horn. Start to.
Oh, I found it. I found a TRT company. I just have to wait until funds become fluid again.
Mm-hmm.
I can get on the balance of my testosterone train, because especially with um, all the crap we're going through, I am not recovering well. I'm not sleeping well.
Yeah.
Zapped.
So let's get into
That
that
extra.
then. So let's get into the update.
Okay, so we had to. Well, Brittany had to. There's no we here. I'll get into that in a second too.
Right? Oh
But so Brittany had to get her lawyer to ask the judge to request the Department of Child Services files linked to her and the children's names, all of them. Pardon me. And this made us look really good, like as parents and the household, and what the kids had to say about us, and made their father not look so swell.
Yeah.
And except for one part, because there was a worker, a caseworker who is no longer with DCS. I do believe they were fired. Um, she made up an interview with Brittany. That's in the file.
What?
She made up an interview.
So you're
She
going
took
through
the
the
information.
files and
Yes.
you see conversation that didn't happen?
Yes. So she took
Wow.
so she took the conversation with the kid's dad and the kids, and then pieced it together like she talked to Brittany.
Wow.
Yes. So we had the another lady come out and be like, "Nope, she said she came to our house. She did not. Please, remember, because I was real
Yeah.
heated about DCS having to come into my house and mess
Yep.
with my kids."
Yep.
But that was the interview that was supposedly happened
Okay.
beforehand. So
Yeah.
now the interview actually happened. And so this was, it's at that, other than that, just made up interview, just made up. It looks, he looks like the asshole he is. So hopefully the judge takes that into consideration. But oh, so the other piece of news was this lawyer, I guess, expects me to bend over and comply like I don't know how to read. I don't know things. But she asked for the text and call logs and metadata from Brittany's phone, the kids' phones, and my phone.
Like generic broad brush. So
Well,
all of
and
it
then
or just
like
specific?
and and then all the conversations.
Like every conversation you've ever had or specific to the case?
I think it's specific to the case, but probably every conversation we ever had.
How is that a
I don't know.
possibility? Like,
I don't know. But I told Brittany, and I said she wants my information off of my phone. She goes, "Yeah," and I said, "You can tell your lawyer that if they'd like to refile this case and make it Jacob and Brittany Howard versus Daniel Austin, or I can get sworn in as a witness with rights, I'll comply. Until then, she can suck the shit directly out of my asshole.
Yeah.
Jeez. Oh man, yeah, dude, that's wild. That's invasive. That is. It feels like you're watching a TV show and they're just reaching
Yep. Yep.
because her client is
And
a
it,
piece of trash, and this is the length that
so
they have to go to in order to have a shot.
so the thing is, there's a DCS report from 2020. There's a DCS report from 2024. There's a DCS report now from 2024 and 2025. All the first one was with complaints that Daniel Austin wouldn't stop slapping the girls' butts. And sometimes he drinks and gets mad and starts arguments with the kids. Then there was the DUI involving 2 children in the car outside of the restaurant.
Do we have to say allegedly here?
No, he was convicted of that.
Okay.
He served his probation. Now, allegedly, because he hasn't paid the piper for this one yet, which he will. Allegedly. A DUI after he was driving at 0.002 away from death with his now 16-year-old daughter in the car with him. But the state of Arizona, I don't get it. There's 3 separate DCS reports, 3 separate incidences of credible abuse and neglect. And there is still a big chance of everything just going back to 50-50.
And where's it now?
Oh, it's 50-50 because he did his inpatient rehab program. He got his license back in the meantime somehow.
So does he have a breathalyzer in his car? Does he have an anklet? Does he have?
I have no idea. He's supposed to supply all that information and he hasn't. So
And they don't. There's no consequence to him not doing that. Well,
you got me. You got me.
Ask the lawyer.
But you see, if I was in this situation,
Meaning you're in his shoes.
if I was in this man's shoes, I think that I would be doing my absolute damnedest to comply,
Sure.
to make sure I was up to date, make sure everything was hunky dory. That's just me.
And then would you expect him to turn over his phone records?
Oh, well, yeah. If that's what his lawyer wants. If that's what his lawyer wants, then fucking let's roll.
You got to be part of the party because right now, what is your position in all of this aside from being the husband?
I don't have one.
And so, in order for you have the ability to, though, right? But you have to be. It has to be agreed upon that you can be part of it, or
So
I don't know
how it is how I see it. So I may be way off.
Okay.
Brittany and I didn't file this motion. Brittany did.
And why is that?
I don't know.
Did you protest? Did you say that you didn't want to be part of it, or that you wanted to be and she didn't, or
No.
no?
I don't know what the protocol is or what.
Sure.
But so I'm not on. I don't think my name is on this at all, other than
I mean
this is Howard's husband.
The fact that you've been sober as long as you have, I think, is quite the contrast to his circumstances, right? Because you could be doing the exact same thing as him. You could.
Exactly.
And especially with your history, you would probably one up him. So it's like if that was your disposition, if you were in his shoes, right? But you had your circumstances and then made the choice not only to get yourself well, but to actively continue to make sure you stay right for a long period of time. He's
Hmm.
not doing any of those things. So, I mean, I don't know how character witnesses works and all of that stuff, but I feel like if you do become part of this, that's going to be a reflection on him. That'll just magnify his transgressions
Yeah. Well, but in his eyes, I'm a hypocrite.
because
I don't talk to him. It used to be at drop off, we'd have at least a friendly.
okay,
Here's this. Here's
yeah,
I don't
but now there's no conversation. So
know.
how does that make you a hypocrite though?
Well, see, I don't know. See, because he went to pick up the one kid. He's like, "Hey, how are you? How's everything going?" I just looked at him and he goes, "Oh, you're gonna be weird. You're gonna be weird too."
Two, common
Yeah,
denominator, my guy.
yeah. And I was like, "Yeah." And he goes, "Oh, because like you didn't have a problem. You're a hypocrite. So you're a hypocrite then."
Oh, so he
I'm
said
not a
that to your
hypocrite.
face.
Uh huh.
Wow.
I said, "I'm not a hypocrite." He just kept walking.
Again, those interactions are important, and
Hmm.
they set a precedent for his behavior.
Well, so and then when
Because
the
it,
kids come back,
go
when
ahead.
the kids come back, Mila comes up and grabs me. She goes, "Hey, you're not a hypocrite."
Awesome, dude.
Yeah. Oh,
That's
so
awesome.
you're once again you did that in front of your children.
In front of the kids. Damn.
So
Yeah.
and then also see I have made it I don't, especially in this situation, I have made it abundantly clear to the kids that I've told them not everything, but I've told them, I'm an alcoholic. I've told them honestly, you have a very unique opportunity. And in December when I hit my 5 year mark, and I said, I mean my 9 year mark.
Right.
Jeez,
Look at you.
jeez.
Look at you. Yeah.
And I said, you have a very unique opportunity. I don't drink. I don't do drugs. And I haven't lied to you about quitting tobacco. Right?
Yeah.
And I said, I know I am a different person than your father is. But when it comes to alcoholism, there's two examples here.
Yeah.
I said, you can take that for what you will. You're going to grow up and be your own person, but I need you to understand you don't have to let that win.
Right.
I wake up every day and I say no.
Hmm.
And that's how I go about my day. Like, it's possible. He chooses and has chosen not to and has put you in danger. I would never do that. Because the other thing I say to the kids all the time is, I love you like you came from my balls. And
I'm sure they appreciate that.
it gets the
Talk about making it weird. Yeah.
but it's part of how we talk to each other. That we have a rapport.
No, that's cool, man.
And
That's cool. I'm being facetious. I think that's cool.
oh yeah, but and I've told because Wyatt, one of his big things was I asked Dad to quit smoking, and I caught him smoking in the garage. That was when he first started noticing that
He's a
he
hypocrite.
wasn't right.
Yeah.
Yeah,
He's the
and
hypocrite he
I said,
calls other people. Yeah.
yeah, and then I told him I was because I had started buying the cabbage, and he goes, "So are you trying to quit?" And I said, "I'm not going to lie to you. I'm not saying I'm going. I'm not saying I'm not going to tell you I'm quitting. I'm not telling you I'm never going to do it again. I'm telling you that I'm changing. I'm trying to make a difference. And we're going to see what happens. Are you cool with that?" And he goes, "I'm cool with that."
Nice.
You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Is that? I'm not gonna blow smoke up his dress, you know.
Yeah.
No, it's like I'm making a change. It's a healthier option, and I'm just trying something different.
So
See how it goes.
when is the next whatever? I don't know what
The-
stage you are at in
I,
the process and
it's gonna be sometime this month.
this month. Okay. Wait,
Yeah,
March? Yeah.
yeah, sometime in March.
Yeah. Gotcha.
So we'll see. We'll see how it goes.
Check out the GoFundMe link to help keep supporting Jake and the family fighting the good fight.
Yeah, because this is dumb expensive. Dumb. We've already spent.
So at the end of this, are you able to ask for him to repay your your costs?
If we win, I do believe that is an option.
Okay.
And I've told Brittany, I was like, not only do we need to ask for this time, we need to ask for last time,
No doubt.
and we need to ask for a formal apology from the court.
It's interesting, man.
Because I mean, that's the outlandish one. We probably won't get that.
Yeah. No, I don't think that's happening.
But like I was saying, like that needs to be on record
Sure.
because this judge needs to know before he rotates out because he's about to. Because they rotate every 3 years.
Hmm.
It's funny. We go see the same guy for pretty much the same thing a year and a half apart. And still all this same nonsense. But that still needs to be put on the record that you at least said acknowledge
Yeah.
your mistake, please.
I'm curious about the fabricated story or the interview as well. Like get that stricken off so that way it's not on your record. So that doesn't
And it's a
shed
this
positive light on him when it's not even
so
true.
whoever this caseworker was obviously isn't dumb because she could fabricate a tale,
Mhm.
but wrote in broken bad English
Hmm.
and like it's just it was lazy. It was lazy. It's despicable. You're fucking with kids' lives, and
But like you were talking
I don't
about with
want
the
to.
VA, like
Yeah,
there are people who work for the government that don't do their job well.
yeah.
So
You're
or who don't
fucking with
do their
kids' lives,
job.
man.
They don't do their job to the best of the abilities like the judge or like the court system itself because
Well,
you shouldn't even be in this position.
so I've had to learn a lot about family court, and it being screwy is an understatement. In an attempt to make it more 50-50 and not just a mother state, they have really just jumbled this mess up.
Yeah.
But my biggest concern is what's it going to take? Is he going to actually have to hurt or kill one of the kids
No doubt. No doubt.
for the court to be like, oops?
Yep. That's a great point.
And I think I've said it here before, but what I told him the first time we ever talked was I made it abundantly clear that I wasn't there to replace him. Because that's not my purpose. My purpose is to be another father figure that helps.
Hmm.
Because I love their mother, right? He has forced my hand to where I will never replace him, but they need to be in my house all the time
No doubt.
because he's a 40-year-old man that is incapable of controlling himself.
And he has a support system that enables that behavior
He has enablers left and right.
on the payroll.
Yep.
So,
And he is a textbook narcissist. Nothing that he ever does is wrong. If something bad happens to him, it's somebody else's fault, as per this court agreement, because it's somehow Brittany's fault that he's drunk and driving, not him and his choices he made.
Yeah.
What's wild in the 2020 report, after he had told the kids and Brittany that I never hit you, I never punched you, I never did that. He admitted to it right there in the report in 2020.
Yeah.
He punched her in the car. He punched her in the car while driving with all 3 kids, and Scarlett remembers that.
Yeah, man. He has a ironclad support system.
Yep, and it's hurting the kids.
Like how do their grandparents not?
I think Grammy is just,
Because how is this any different from a mass shooter? A mass shooter lives in a house. Their parents know their kid is a recluse and is into some weird shit, but they've
yeah,
got vibes, and then they help him buy a gun, and then all this other shit, and then he shoots the school up. Now the law is changing to where parents can get and are being held accountable because tragedy or damages happen as a result of their enabling and inaction. So that parallel feels like it should, especially in kids' court, man. Like, stupid.
it's very stupid.
I don't use that word
It-
very
it-
often. That's stupid, dog. This is dumb as hell.
And it's truly offensive.
And they're profiting off of this. The state is profiting off of your turmoil.
The state, his lawyer, our lawyer.
Wild. What were you? I saw the thing you posted about your accidental Instagram pop. What happened? I didn't see.
Dude, okay, so I found a
Oh, it was that woman, right?
yeah.
Is that what it was? Okay.
Mhm. And then there was the comedian. I believe his page is, let's see, his page is White Women Comedy, at White Women Comedy. He did a whole thing, and then I just did a 5-second blurb to Jeezy's All White Everything. Me just shaking my head. and it is sitting at 4,645 views. Watch
Ayo.
time of 1 day, 6 hours, 22 minutes, and 27 seconds. And yeah, so that's my second accidental pop off of 5 seconds.
Right.
So
It's crazy, man.
so well, I mean, it's no Jordan and LeBron comparisons.
Bro. That's I keep getting likes and random people who find it. I don't know how or what, but I haven't tried to like reignite the flame. But yeah, that thing was over 5 million. It's crazy. It was so crazy, dog. And the fact that I made it, and because I didn't see anybody else do that.
Yeah.
I saw people talking about it, and they just let the clip run. But and then watching The Last Dance and just putting that with him watching the iPad, and then putting him on top of LeBron's behavior, like it's perfect, dog. Like when I made that, I was like, this is dope. And then for it to get that reaction, I was like, hell fucking yeah. Okay, so I can do this. And then shadow ban blocked all the other things, kept it, went right back to normal. So but yeah, it is possible. Last thing we have on here to talk about, you're talking about these people online that you see who are in the fitness world.
Or just people in general that are just regular people that aren't really in the fitness world, but they work out, I guess.
Okay.
And they're proud of it.
Yeah.
Which is Good, good,
Yeah.
but okay. Let me. Alcohol is a poison, and when you ingest it in copious amounts on a regular basis, and depending on your genetics and who you are, it is going to hinder your gym progress. It's going to hinder your weight loss. It's going to hinder your recovery. It's going to hinder everything you're working towards in your gym. Whether that be you're a runner, swimmer, bike rider, crossfitter, bodybuilder, powerlifter, strongman. Booze is bad. Booze is bad. And this isn't from this is coming from a sober person, but this is coming from a no shit.
Science,
Everyone
dog.
knows
It's
this.
science.
Everyone knows this.
Yeah.
And I see it all the time, and it's frustrating. It's frustrating as hell. And it's I just can't see. I don't know why I'm just not making any more progress. Anyway, margaritas with the girls. Here we go. You know, and like
You're talking about the
Yeah.
wine moms? That
no, dude, I hate wine moms. I
That's like
hate. Here's the clip. I hate wine moms. My God, there are
white claw culture. Same thing.
There's the idea that you need alcohol on a regular basis to cope with normal life makes you weak. Makes you weak. It makes you weak. There's no other way. You're weak.
I was telling my dad, we talked the other day, and every time we speak, we don't speak very often, but when we do, it's 3 hours. And I
Yeah.
posted on my stories, and like, yeah, it's wild. It's wild to know, and being a consumer of cannabis myself, it's like I purposely stopped drinking because of the toxicity, because there's no pro aside from being drunk. There's no pro to
Yep.
it. So it's like it's all bad. And we're not even talking about cirrhosis or cancer or any of that shit. Like we're just talking about gains. Like you're just talking about your physique. And yeah, to see it's it feels just like it's the have your cake and eat it too phrase,
Yeah.
right? It's these people who they invest time, energy, and attention in the gym, and then they go out and they celebrate that achievement with something that disrupts their progress.
Yep.
Talk about hypocrites. Like
Dude.
whether that's weak or not, it's like you're shooting yourself in the foot and then complaining about the wound.
Yep.
Okay.
Yeah. I can't. So I, of course, have trained and coached people that aren't sober because I don't expect everyone to live life like me. That's
With
silly.
discipline, right?
I'm not running a cult, yet. Um, there's still time, but if you cannot hunker down for a couple months to really see what your body can do, which is what you're paying me for,
Mm-hmm.
you've got a problem. You have maybe a slight addiction, but congratulations, you're an alcoholic. You made it.
I mean,
It-
dilly dilly, bro. Like it's everywhere.
Yeah.
So it's normal. It's not. So those same people, are conditioned to believe that there's nothing wrong with them partaking. Whether it's you're watching a show and it's daytime drinking and they're just having a scotch or whatever to to simmer down from a tough part of your day or whatever. Like was it Mad Men? Like just that whole culture of where it's like this unlabeled bottle here is just something I tap into on a regular basis. And it's just accepted. It's part of the norm. So a lot of the people I would assume who work out or who are busting their ass in the gym and dieting and taking care of themselves, that they see that as the reward.
Mhm.
And so they can partake because it's not going to hurt them as much, or they'll be able to recover quicker, or you know what I mean? Like, I see that all of the time. And what I was trying to say with the conversation with my father, I was like, I told him, I said, we're a country of codependence. We have now become reliant on something else for our pleasure at every turn.
Yep.
At every turn. And when it's not easy, accessible, instant gratification, we complain. So it's a cultural thing, in my opinion, that.
Well, we can go back to our conversation with Justine,
Mm-hmm.
because out in Australia, it's alcohol
Right,
dependency is worse.
right.
I'm, like, and shout out to her. She's whipping ass. I don't know if you still follow her.
Yep, I saw her. It's funny you said that. I saw her post from earlier today. So
Yeah,
makes me smile
she's
every
doing
time I see
great.
it.
Yeah, she's doing great. Really, really excited we got to interview her before she blew up.
Right. Yep. You're
But
welcome. But
yeah, yeah, the big sober swole pod pull carries you over.
our 0 followers really helped catapult you to the.
That last show got like 20 views. We're kicking ass.
Oh man. Is there anything else you want to touch on tonight?
No sir, no sir.
Oh man, I don't know where we're headed, bro, but it does not look good. And my dad is super into AI, and so he's like learning all these different things. And my dad's in his 60s, so
Yeah,
he's got no business pursuing this, and he is knee deep
he's
in this
having the
stuff.
time of his life.
He enjoys it. He really does, and so he's trying to, I don't want to say convince is the wrong word, but like I can feel that he's disappointed that I'm not more on board because he knows I'm about technology. I'm about being on top of stuff. And I admitted, I was like, I know I'm missing out. I know I'm missing out on productivity, but I don't want to give them my everything. They're not telling you
Yeah,
what they're doing with what you're providing for them. And so that's on purpose. And so I'm not going to input prompts, stuff that they can use, duplicate, replicate, and then be more successful with because they have the capital to do so. So
yep.
that's really my biggest issue, along with the fact that every technological advance we have ever created, we have always used it in a piss poor manner, whether that's
Yes.
Oppenheimer, whether that's. And I told him, I was like, and so many of the things that are good for us are mistakes. Like penicillin, whoops. This miracle drug,
Yep.
whoops. So, yeah, man, it's early. It's, you know, almost March, heading into Q2 of this year. And, man, it was 90 degrees today. So if we don't burn one way or the other, man, like I turned the AC on today to just level the house out. I was like, it's way too warm in here. February fucking 28th.
This is where I get cozy.
That's crazy, dog. 26.
This is
Excuse me.
where I get.
So yeah, that's all I got today,
Well, the
man.
only well, so just on your AI real quick, the only thing I get real worried about is I've watched the first two Terminator films, so
I know, absolutely, dog. But so my thing is, it's ingesting all of our behaviors, right? And so that
Mhm.
it can give us information, guidance, whatever. What is stopping it from realizing we are alcohol, that we are toxic, and then it just figures out a way to fuck with us because we're lack discipline, we are codependents, and so
Mhm.
it's going to at some point understand that we can't fend for ourselves.
Yes,
That's the scary part for me. Not them sending out the missiles out, not attacking the nuclear silos, not any of that shit, bro. It is our piss poor use of this thing that should allow us to become more progressive and more productive, but it is simply a shortcut. It's Dewey Decimal System on fucking steroids. So, and I'm old enough to have had to go to the library and fucking dig through books and look at this code and figure out how to find this thing and then put references down and all that.
Excuse me, sir. I fuck with Dewey.
We got all that down immediately. So it's such a trip to know that how difficult it was just to get the information to even apply it. Now you just like, what about this? Boom. So yeah, man, Skynet is approaching with rapid. Oh boy. Anyway.
So anyway, let's end this heartfelt episode.
Absolutely. Holy hell.
All right. Well, thank you for listening to the Sober Swole podcast. Once again, my name is Jake Howard.
I go by DJ Swirl.
Chocolate and vanilla swirl.
Be sure to like and subscribe. Follow us on Instagram at Sober Swole Pod. Bye.
Bye to bye.
They say teamwork makes the dream work, but what about the nightmare? From your landlord to your dashboard, sometimes life don't play fair. If you lack time, got a bad spine, we're here to support you, giving peace of mind from the time you buy until we say goodbye.